What's up, guys? So Kage Puya here. I'm a little late to this reaction video for the Bayern versus Aston Villa game, but the game happened earlier today. I've had some time all day to process it, and you guys, it is what it is, dude. Bayern's 41 match, 42 match, whatever it was, 7-year unbeaten streak in the Champions League stage slash group stage slash league stage, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's over. Back in 2017, Carlo Ancelotti was sacked after a 3-1 loss to PSG in Paris, France. And who was the manager for PSG that pimped Bayern that day? It was Unai Emery. Now, 7 years removed, 7 years later, after 7 years of not losing group stage matches slash league phase matches for Bayern in the Champions League, we lose 1-0 today to Aston Villa to guess what? Who's the manager? Unai freaking Emery, man. I mean, you have to respect it. I mean, listen, Emery is just a guy that knows how to set up his teams against these he knows how to set up his squad. He knows the tactics he wants to use against bigger teams like this. And for Bayern, man, they are the victims of the Emery classic. Remember last time, Nagelsmann, he lost the tactical battle to Unai Emery, and Villarreal, out of all teams, beat Bayern München. What was it, 2-1 across both legs in the quarterfinals of the 2022 Champions League. So Unai Emery, total respect to him. You have to, you really have to sit here and say, wow, what an achievement. This is a guy that Bayern just keeps getting pimped by. Emery is the Diddy to Bayern. Emery is Bayern's Diddy. He Diddy's us, man. He on Diddy, he Diddy's us, bro. But he baby oils Bayern and he spanks us across the butt cheeks, man. So Unai Emery, credit to you guys in Aston Villa. I really didn't think Aston Villa played well today, but you know, it's as it says. If your defense is strong, man, you won't lose. And today, Pau Torres, Ezri Konsa, Luca Digne, Emi Martinez were bloody fantastic for Aston Villa today. And yeah, they got the job done. They stayed tight in the back, and they left the game with a clean sheet. Now Aston Villa has won their first 2 games of the Champions League phase this year. So, I didn't predict them to get top 8. I don't think they will. They still have some games to go. They will fumble along the way in the Champions League, I'm sure, but they're setting themselves very well here to easily finish within the playoff places at least by opening the first 8 games with 2 wins. So, especially getting a famous home win against Bayern. It is what it is, man. Unai Emery, credit to them, but as a Bayern fan, we're here to talk about Bayern. Listen, let me tell you this. Like, this is a reality check for Company, and I said it on Twitter. Company just got a reality check. Unai Emery checked him and said, "Yo, bro, I understand all the goals, and you started Bayern well, honeymoon period, this and that, but welcome back to reality." Reality check for Bayern today, and Vincent Company, man. Yes, I said this is a reality check for him on Twitter. But let me tell you this, I don't actually disagree with Company's approach today. It's the same approach he's always going to do. High line, high press, attack, try to create as many chances as possible. And, in the last 2 games, unfortunately, we've came up against 2 very, very strong defenses, 2 very, very well-drilled defenses. A defense could be filled with big names, but if they're not a well-drilled defense and a well-coached defense, they will leak goals. Bayern, for the last 2 games, Leverkusen's defense and Aston Villa's defense, they are well-oiled, well-drilled defenses, and Bayern struggled to create as many chances as they did compared to when they played Werder Bremen and Dinamo Zagreb and all those teams. So, a little bit of a reality check this week for Vincent Kompany. But I didn't actually disagree with his approach to this game. I like it because he didn't try to, like what Tuchel would do, change the style of play Bayern was playing. He pulled up to Villa Park, and Bayern did dominate Aston Villa for most of this game. And we did keep a high line. We were able to defend well ourselves. Bayern themselves, we defended very well. Upamecano, yes, he got done by Watkins maybe 2 times in the first half, but outside of that 5-minute spell where Watkins was getting the better of Upamecano and Kim Min-jae locked it down. And I say that because I don't blame Upamecano at all for the goal Aston Villa scored. Duran, the super sub himself, man, comes on over the, long ball. Upamecano is there defending him. He's 1v1 with him. Neuer, this is the high level, man. Even if against a team like Aston Villa, who's a very good team, one of the better teams in the Premier League, right? If you make even a millisecond mistake, you get punished. And Duran, who's a man on form, coming off the bench, scoring bangers. I mean, the guy only scores bangers. Remember his goal against Everton a couple weeks ago? If you saw that, if you didn't, definitely go check it out. It's one of the most insane long shots of the season. He looks up for half a millisecond, sees Neuer's out, and listen, that's just a man oozing confidence. Duran, 1, 2 touch, 3 touch, boom, perfectly over Neuer's gloves, and boom, 1-0. Aston Villa get a historic win at home against Bayern. Obviously, Aston Villa, when they won their European Cup many decades ago, who was it against in the final? It was against Bayern, and it was a 1-0 win. So Aston Villa rolling back the decades. I was going to say rolling back the years. Rolling back the decades is a much more appropriate thing to say for this situation, because it's been a while since these two faced each other, and Aston Villa got the better of Bayern once again. So congrats to them, but the approach today was good. In hindsight, I think maybe Musiala shouldn't have been rested. Maybe you could have just rested him for the Frankfurt game this weekend. But hindsight 100, I thought at the beginning of the game, that's smart. Rest Musiala. We don't want to get him injured. We should be good enough to beat Villa Park. And to be honest, I came into this game thinking Bayern probably won't lose this game. We'll at least get a draw, or best scenario, we get a win. And we lost. And it is what it is. At least we won our first game. There's still 6 more games to go. I'm confident Bayern will get in that top 8. Barcelona is going to be the last big test of this league phase, and I think Bayern should get, the rest of their games 5 wins after that. So I think Bayern will still get top 8. But listen, man, it's just think of the approach. Company put out his team. Bayern played the same football they're trying to play, high press, pegging the other team back, chance creation. And if you think about it, we defended well, right? The goal they scored was a wonder goal by Duran, and a little bit of a mistake for Neuer. But you guys think about it. It is kind of a Neuer mistake, but who would think to shoot from there? That is a man just oozing confidence Duran. But think about it. So they created maybe 2 chances all game, Aston Villa. Upamecano and Kim, for 99% of the game, shut down the Aston Villa attack. And we created 4 or 5 of our own chances. Listen, if we were more clinical today, 4 or 5, Bayern genuinely created 4 or 5 legit chances. And if we're talking clear-cut, 100% point-blank chances, Bayern created 3 of them against a very well-drilled defense. So the chances were made. We just weren't clinical enough today. And it is what it is. Gnabry could have had a goal or 2. Musiala had a couple good plays when he came off the bench. It's a little frustrating to drop points like this, to take our first L of the season like this. But listen, as a Bayern fan, I'd prefer to lose at this stage of the season. I don't want us, the difference between Company and Nagelsmann is Nagelsmann learned his lesson from Unai Emery in a quarterfinal when it's too late. Company can take his lessons from this game and move forward. And I think what I've been seeing from Company, I trust him to take the right to take the right lessons away from this game, and make the improvements this Bayern team needs to be doing, and also work in training on what this Bayern team needs to, which is the main thing, being clinical. Now, a couple players I want to speak on today. I think Harry Kane is my absolute, out of this entire loss, I'm not disappointed with Neuer, who made that, half a mistake, misread the ball. I'm not disappointed with any of those outfield players, barring one guy. One freaking guy. And that's Harry Kane. Harry Kane, when we are putting you in Ballon d'Or conversations, when we are putting you in best striker in the world conversations, I'm sorry, I understand Pau Torres, Digne, and Ezri Konsa, all these guys are part of a well-drilled Unai Emery defense on a European night. I understand that can be a difficult outing for anyone, but I'm sorry. It's not like you're playing against Rudiger, Militao, your own teammates, Kim Min-jae, Upamecano, Saliba, Gabriel, Bremer, and whoever plays next to him, whatever, a Man City defense, Ruben Diaz, Kyle Walker, John Stones, Akanji, you're not playing against these guys. You're playing against Pau Torres, Ezri Konsa, and Luca Digne, and they are quality players, but these aren't guys that should completely shut you out of a game. So Harry Kane, I am very worried after this Leverkusen and Aston Villa game. He was non-existent today. Harry Kane was a ghost. The only moment from the top of my mind right now I can remember from Harry Kane was, when Musiala came in. Musiala had one play where he dribbled the entire Aston Villa midfield, took away 2 defenders, did a 1-2 with Harry Kane, and had a shooting chance. That's the only thing I remember from Kane. He did a nice 1-2 with Musiala. That's it. In 96 minutes of football, that's unacceptable for someone who gets paid as much as he does at Bayern, who 100 million was spent on him, and who's in Ballon d'Or and best striker or best player in the world conversations, that's not good enough, Harry Kane. It's not. So Harry Kane needs to improve his performances. Maybe the international break would do him good. This was a rough week for him. Let's see on the weekend before we go to international break if he could bag a goal or two against Eintracht Frankfurt. Eintracht Frankfurt is one of the more informed teams in the Bundesliga this season so far, so that's going to be a tough game for Bayern this weekend on Sunday. So yeah, Harry Kane, I'm very disappointed. But let's look at the positives, man. I think Company went to Villa Park, imposed his style of play, and to be honest, we created 4 or 5 chances, and 2 or 3 of them were clear-cut 100% chances we didn't put away. Upamecano, genuinely, our defense played well today. It was a Duran moment of brilliance, and Watkins got the better of Upamecano twice out of like the 20 or 25 duels they had today. So I'm very happy with how the defense played. Standout players for me. I thought Alphonso Davies was very strong today. Davies, man, a lot of people, I said, this is why I don't want to sell Davies. I really believed Company with what he's trying to do at Bayern would get the best out of Davies. You guys, Davies today was solid at left back, making recovery runs, dribbling himself out of pressure, being a threat on overlapping runs on the left. I was very happy with how Alphonso Davies was playing. Upamecano, very good game. Kim Min-jae had an even better game. I was a little disappointed with Limer. I prefer Guerrero at that right back spot. If it's not going to be Kimmich or Josip Stanisic, I prefer Guerrero at right back, but it is what it is. Kimmich, I think Kimmich had an excellent game at midfield. Excellent game in midfield for Kimmich. Pavlovic was all right. I think he was getting bullied a little bit tonight against Aston Villa with, Amadou Onana, Yuri Tielemans, all those guys pressing him. He was struggling, but he still had a decent game. If I were to give him a rating, I would give, Pavlovic a 6.5. Olise, I'm interested with this Olise thing with Company. I don't know if Company's trying to load manage Olise, but I really didn't understand why he took Olise off. I would have kept Olise on because he was a guy that, Aston Villa was putting a lot of numbers on. If you keep him in and bring Musiala in, now you have 2 guys, 2 very dangerous attackers that the Aston Villa defense would have had to pay attention to put 2 or 3 guys on. I really think the move should have been Musiala on, keep Olise on. And I think maybe we could have had a little bit more success. But it is what it is. Coman was non-existent. So that's why he got subbed off. And, Gnabry had his moments. He should have done better. He should have scored maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 1 goal for sure. That 1v1, that beautiful Musiala passing behind. And Harry Kane, like I said, very disappointed in Harry Kane. So Bayern, things to take away. Credit to Aston Villa, man. They are putting themselves into a conversation to be in those playoff spots. Who knows? If Unai Emery is going to set his team up like this, defend like this, and they have guys like Ollie Watkins and a guy like Duran coming off the bench and scoring these goals, dude, can Aston Villa sneak into that top 8? I don't know. They still have some difficult tests lying ahead of them. They have Juventus next. I think the next Champions League games are in 3 weeks. Let's see what happens. They're going to be playing in Turin for that game. So let's just see. But Aston Villa, maybe a little bit of an underdog here for the top 8. And yeah, Bayern Company, take the lessons. It wasn't a bad match from Bayern. They just got done by a moment of brilliance by Duran and missed their chances. That's football, man. It is what it is. I'm not going to listen to the Bayern fans, the overreactionary Bayern fans that, we lose to one moment of brilliance today at Villa Park, which was always going to be a tough test. These English teams in England, these are very, very hard games, guys. Newcastle last year at home in the group stage, they pimped PSG like 4-1. Don't forget. So these grounds are not easy to come to. I was not, ecstatic with the Bayern performance, but I didn't think it was bad. I thought they were trying to do their thing, and they just got outdone today by a moment of brilliance. And I'm not going to sit here and say the season's over, sack Company, and I'm not going to sit here and say all of a sudden Gnabry, oh, here's the Gnabry we saw of 2 years. He's ass. Oh, Kimmich is ass. I'm not going to all of a sudden start overreacting like that. No way. But a loss is a loss. You got to take it on the skin, and we move forward on track for this Sunday, guys. Company, let's see if you learn. And the next Champions League game, man, for Bayern, Barcelona in Catalonia. Big boy matchup. Hansi Flick, Company, 2 attacking styles. It's going to be a good one. Until the next Champions League video, guys, for Bayern, we take them as we go. You guys, if you like the video, leave a like and subscribe if you want to, keep up with the footy talk. Gonna release a Real Madrid post-match reaction right now after this one. And AFC fans, if you're watching, I'm gonna release that AFC World Cup qualifying preview for you guys as the games come in next week. You guys, it's been Okage Puya. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace and love. Adios.